Hello and welcome to News Hour. I'm Adeswai Ramaseli. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has issued a new circular to address concerns about Nigeria banks engaging in excessive foreign currency speculations and hoarding, while expressing concerns on some banks holding onto large amounts of foreign currency for a long time, hoping to profit from currency fluctuations. The bank has introduced guidelines mandating these banks to ensure that their net open position (NOP) should not exceed certain limits, effective February 1, 2024. The Apex Bank also directed them to follow specific templates for calculating daily and monthly positions, as well as mandating them to maintain sufficient high-quality liquid foreign assets to cover obligations and practice natural hedging to avoid currency risk. Non-compliance may lead to sanctions and suspension from the foreign exchange market, reflecting the CBN's commitment to curbing speculative activities and promoting financial stability. Moving on, FBN Holdings has appointed Femi Otedola, a prominent businessman and investor, as its new chairman. The parent company of First Bank of Nigeria disclosed this in a corporate filing on the Nigerian Exchange Limited (NGX). Otedola, who became the firm's largest shareholder in December 2021 with a 7.57% stake, was chosen after a board meeting on 31st of January 2024. The financial institution lauded Otedola's entrepreneurial vision and past successes, highlighting his transformative leadership at Fort Oil PLC. His diverse investment portfolio and recent acquisition of shares in Dangote Cement have further solidified his standing as one of Africa's wealthiest individuals. Otedola's wealth was recently valued at $1.1 billion by Forbes, ranking him as the fourth richest Nigerian. The Nigerian naira showed a slight recovery against the dollar in the official market yesterday, bouncing back from a record low of 1,482.57 naira per dollar the previous day. According to data from the Nigerian Autonomous Foreign Exchange Market (NAFEM), the domestic currency appreciated by 1.85%, closing at 1,455 naira per dollar. This represented a gain of 26.96 naira, or a 1.85% increase compared to the previous day's close. The intraday high and low were recorded at 134.07 naira to $1 and 789 naira to $1 respectively, reflecting a wide spread of 720 naira to $1. Forex turnover at the close of trading reached $134.07 million, marking an 85.36% increase from the previous day. Despite this official market improvement, the naira weakened in the parallel forex market, closing at 1,470 naira per dollar, a 1.02% drop from the previous day. Nigeria's aviation minister Festus Keyamo says over 40 billion has been proposed to the president for enhancing critical infrastructure all the nation airport. He made this known while fielding questions from journalists, adding that the federal government is bringing up strategies for improving airport infrastructure and efficiency. The minister also noted that the portion of 40 billion naira would be allocated to implement the Safe Tower project. According to the minister, the Doppler Very High Frequency Omni-Range DVOR will enable pilots to land aircraft seamlessly, even in unfavorable conditions, and that a portion of the $40 billion naira, will also be used to procure modern instruments and landing system for the 5 international airports and some other airports. We go on a break now and return with the rest of the news. Stay with us.
My name is Dr. Ajili Tubi.
My name is Etemere Glover.
Naomi, well done, and shout out to Souq News.
Shout out to Souq News. I want to encourage everyone to keep watching Souq News.
Shout out to Souq News, and yes, tune into them.
Keep watching Souq News. They are one in town.
Hey, we're watching Souq News.
Keep watching Souq News.
Keep watching Souq News. Catch them on YouTube and all social media channels.
Hey, my name is Frank Edowo, and I'm imploring you. No, forget that. I am forcing you, coercing you to always stay tuned to Souq News for your news requirements.
Welcome back. Telecom infrastructure company IHS Nigeria, through its subsidiary Global Independent Connect Limited GICL, has successfully deployed over 10,000 kilometers of fiber optic cables across all 36 states of Nigeria and the Federal Capital Territory. This initiative aims to support the Nigerian government's goal of achieving 70% broadband penetration by 2025, as outlined in the Nigerian National Broadband Plan. The rollout includes fiber to the TOR FTTT technology to enhance transmission capacity and facilitate the introduction of advanced services like 5G. GICL Vice President Kazeem Oladakbo emphasized the collaborative efforts with stakeholders to overcome challenges in improving communication services. The Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani, highlighted the need for additional investments, estimating $2 billion to lay fiber optic cables across the country. The ministry is working on connecting all public institutions to stimulate internet demand in undeserved areas. Now to stock. The Nigerian Exchange Limited NGX achieved an unprecedented 35.3% surge in the all-share index for January 2024, closing at 101,154.46 index point. This historic performance defied economic challenges and showcased remarkable investor confidence. Despite a brief downturn with sell-offs on January 30 and 31, resulting in a 3.36% decline, the overall gain for the month was significant. Contributing factors include positive sentiment during the earnings season, local dominance reducing market volatility, favorable policies from President Bola Tinubu's administration, and record earnings by quoted firms. Analysts anticipate continued market improvements in 2024. And away from that, South Africa's Foreign Minister Naledi Pandor says Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates have officially confirmed their participation in the BRICS bloc after receiving invitations last year. These invitations were extended with one to Argentina during a summit in Johannesburg in August. The move, now affirmed by 5 of the 6 invited nations, include Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Ethiopia, Iran and Egypt, is aiming at reshuffling what they perceive as an outdated global order. However, Argentina has chosen not to act on the successful application made by the previous administration to become full members of BRICS, a decision that South Africa accepts. Now, starting February 1, 2024, UAE citizens planning to travel to the UK will no longer require a pre-entry visa. Instead, they can avail the Electronic Travel Authorization (ETA) scheme announced by the UAE Embassy in London. The move is seen as a significant development in the relationship between the UAE and the UK. The application process for ETA is quick, digital, and requires biometric details, aligning with border security practices of international partners like the USA, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. Shell, the British energy major, announced a significant dip in profit for the year 2023, with post-tax earnings plummeting to $19.4 billion from the previous year's $42.3 billion. The decline is attributed to lower oil and gas prices, reduced volumes, and diminished refining margins. The company reported a nearly 20% decrease in revenue, amounting to $316.6 billion. Despite the challenges, Shell will return $3.5 billion to shareholders. Hyundai Motor and Iveco Group have expanded their partnership, with Hyundai supplying a fully electric light commercial vehicle to the Italian truck and bus maker. This agreement builds upon their collaboration initiated in 2022, where Hyundai assisted Iveco in developing its hydrogen fuel cell e-Daily FCEV van and e-Way FCEV city bus. The new deal involves Hyundai providing a mid-sized Iveco badged electric van based on its global ELCV platform. Hyundai will manufacture and supply the chassis cab for the European market, while Iveco will handle local customization and exclusive distribution through its sales channels, with a planned launch in September. This move enables Iveco to diversify its product range, catering to a segment currently served by competitors such as Stellantis, Ford, and Renault, while emphasizing the importance of urban and suburban distribution in the European market. The collaboration anticipates future joint projects between the two companies. India car manufacturers achieved record sales in January, focusing on bolstering inventories of new and updated models for the year. Maruti Suzuki in India and Hyundai's India unit, the country's top two car makers, reported all-time high sales at 199,203 units and 67,615 units respectively. Toyota's India unit also marked record sales with 24,609 units, while Tata Motors experienced a 12% increase in passenger vehicle sales. Mahindra and Mahindra, a prominent SUV maker in India, reported a 31% rise in wholesale volumes for the segment, reaching 43,068 units. The trend aligns with India's emphasis on stimulating rural spending, potentially benefiting companies like Hero MotoCorp and boosting tractor sales. Similarly, the motorcycle industry saw increased domestic sales propelled by demand for entry-level models in rural areas and consistently mid-level motorcycle sales in urban centers. Bajaj Auto, India's leading motorcycle exporter, highlighted a notable 36% growth in domestic sales and a 14% increase in export, marking its most significant rise in the fiscal year so far. We go on another break and we return with the rest of the news. Stay with us.
The National Theatre, Igomu, built during the military regime of Olusegun Obasanjo and finished in the time for the Second World Festival of Black Arts and Culture, Souq, in 1977. The theatre holds amazing treasures and memories. The artworks fill everyone with pride. The National Arts Theatre is visible from the motorway which connects Lagos Island and the mainland. The National Theatre is packed with the artworks of a legendary contemporary Nigerian artist, stained glass walls by Yusuf Grillo, sculptures and murals by Lamidi Fakeye, Erabo Emopai, and many others. It was put to full use for a month as one of the 4 venues of the Second World Black and African Festival of Arts and Culture, tagged Souq 77. The complex hosted 16,000 participants from 56 African countries and the diaspora in an unprecedented showcase of African music, fine art, literature, drama, dance, and religion. The National Art Theatre was built and designed by Techno Expert Stroll, a Bulgarian company mirroring the Palace of Culture and Sports in Varna, Bulgaria. Completed in 1976, The building is one of the largest and most beautiful of its kind on the African continent. It consists of a central hall with 5,000 seats, a collapsible stage that can be quickly rebuilt, a conference hall with 1,600 seats, 2 large exhibition halls, and 2 cinemas with 800 seats each. The theater complex has a dressing room for artists, a garage, offices, coffee bars, and a buffet. It has indoor TV and radio systems, as well as booths with facilities for simultaneous translation of languages and hectares of lush green lawn around. The majestic structure sits in Igomu like a quiet mountain, mesmerizing visitors and passers-by. The National Theatre, Souq Enlightenment.
Welcome back. You're still watching News Hour on Souq News. The United Arab Emirates has announced a pre-approved visa on arrival service for select India passport holders who have booked travel with the airline. The 14-day single-entry visa aims to streamline arrival in Dubai, allowing customers to bypass queues. The Dubai Visa Processing Center processes the application, operates under VFS Global Emirates Airlines designated facility for UAE visa processing. Eligible Indian nationals with a standard passport valid for at least 6 months can apply, provided they have a US visa, green card, or valid EU or UK residency for 6 months. The service costs $47 with an $18.50 service charge, facilitating a hassle-free arrival process for Emirates travelers. Around 290,000 workers in Finland are launching a 2-day strike in protest today against the right-wing government's proposed labor market reforms and social welfare cuts. This move, anticipated to disrupt air traffic, oil refinery production, and various businesses, follows months of labor union resilience to the government's inclination towards local work agreement, restrictions on political strikes, and simplified work contract terminations. The strikes have drawn criticism from top industry lobby and the government, arguing that reforms are essential to align Finland's economy with comparable nations like Sweden. Finnish flag carrier Finnair and fuel producer Neste Porvoo refinery are already feeling the impact, with flight cancellations and reduced fuel supply expected. Good on. The umbrella union Akava urges the government to uphold negotiation tradition amid escalating tensions. Similarly, in Germany, security staff at major German airports, including the key hub Frankfurt, have initiated a 24-hour strike beginning from today, causing flight disruptions and adding pressure to Europe's largest economy. The strike, organized by the labor union Verdi, is part of a series of recent industrial actions that have severely impacted Germany's transportation sector. The German Airport Associated ADV estimated over 1,100 flight cancellations or delays affecting nearly 200,000 travelers. Airports such as Frankfurt, Berlin, Hamburg, and Stuttgart announced a halt to departures. Verdi, representing 25,000 workers, is demanding $3.04 hourly pay increase and more favorable overtime pay over a year. This follows recent extensive strikes, including a lengthy railway strike by German trail drivers and nationwide protests by farmers, indicating broader labor-related challenges in the country. Volvo Cars has announced its decision to cease funding Polestar Automotive Holding and transfer control to the luxury car brand in Geely Holding, Volvo's major shareholder in China. This move met with a positive market response and saw Volvo's stock surge over 30% at market open. The heavy involvement of Volvo Cars in Polestar, where it holds approximately 48% of shares, has faced criticism from analysts considering it a drain on Volvo's resources. Like other electric vehicle brands, Polestar has struggled, affected by the price war initiated by Tesla last year. Volvo Cars contemplated transferring Polestar shares to its shareholders, potentially making Geely a significant direct owner in the brand. While Geely welcomes the decision and commits to providing operational and financial support to Polestar, analysts speculate on the possibility of a Geely ecosystem sell-down of shares in Volvo. Lewis Hamilton, the British Formula One star, is set to make a significant move to Ferrari for the 2025 season, leaving behind Mercedes. The decision comes amid speculations and a 2-year contract signed with Mercedes last summer, allowing him to leave at the end of 2024. Toto Wolff, the chief executive of Mercedes F1 team, is expected to brief the factory before an official announcement. The 7-time world champion is anticipated to replace Carlos Sainz at Ferrari, whose contract expires in 2024. Hamilton expressed contemplation about his career in May 2023, but emphasized his happiness at Mercedes. The move marks the end of a highly successful partnership, with Hamilton securing 6 world titles between 2014 and 2020. The new F1 season commenced with the Bahrain Grand Prix on February 28, 2024. Adani Enterprises, an Indian company, reported a substantial surge in Q3 profit, more than doubling from 8.2 billion rupees to 18.88 billion rupees to $222.5 million by December 31. Fueled by strong performances in coal trading and the new energy sector, Adani's coal trading rose by 70% to 14.64 billion rupees, and the new energy segment surged by 194% to 673 billion rupees. The company emphasized efficient expense management, resulting in a mere 1% rise in overall expenses and improved margin. Adani Group, recovering from market setbacks, instills investor confidence with a Supreme Court ruling and investment from Abu Dhabi's international holding and U.S. firm GQG Partners. Adidas announced its intention to sell the remaining stock of Yeezy sneakers from its discontinued partnership with Kanye West at cost price. The German sportwear giant ends its collaboration with Kanye West in 2022 after he made his anti-Semitic comment on social media. Despite the termination, demand for Yeezy sneakers remains high in the resale market. Adidas aims to recover losses from the once lucrative partnership and mitigate the impact of currency fluctuation, which cost the company €1 billion. The firm posted an operating profit of €268 million in 2023 and expects further improvement this year. Hong Kong-based Pacific Century Group, PCG, led by billionaire Richard Lee, is reportedly looking to sell its majority stake in asset management PineBridge Investment. PCG has enlisted JP Morgan to manage the sales process, engaging in preliminary discussions with several financial institutions. PineBridge, which manages assets valued at approximately $157 billion, could see a change in ownership amid challenging market conditions, heightened volatility, and intense competition in the asset management sector. The potential divestment aligns with PCG's strategy to streamline its portfolio, and if successful, it would mark PCG's exit from a money-losing fund house. The move is influenced by the evolving dynamics of the Asia-Pacific region, where PineBridge has a substantial portfolio exposure. The asset manager's performance has been impacted by rising interest rates and geopolitical tensions, resulting in a loss of $78 million in 2022. PineBridge has over 700 employees across 25 offices, and its divestment could also lead to PCG's exit from a profitable China joint venture. PCG's other businesses include FWD, PCCW, and Pacific Central Premium Developments. European Union leaders have reached an agreement to provide Ukraine with a new 50 billion euros aid package, overcoming Hungary's weeks-long threat to veto the move. European Council President Charles Michel announced the deal during a summit in Brussels, emphasizing the EU's commitment to providing long-term, predictable funding for Ukraine. While it remains unclear if concessions were made to Hungary, Prime Minister Viktor Orban had previously raised objections to the financial aid package. The aid is crucial for Ukraine's war-ravaged economy, although political infighting within the EU and the United States had delayed the approval.
Tafawa Balewa Square, TBS. Tafawa Balewa Square was initially used as a horsing ground called Lagos Race Course. The edifice was constructed by General Yakubu Gowon in 1972 and named after Nigeria's first Prime Minister, Sir Tafawa Balewa. Tafawa Balewa Square is located at 45/57 Marse Bangboshe Street on Lagos Island, Lagos, and referred to as TBS. TBS is a 50,000-seater capacity venue and houses the Remembrance Arcade, the 26-story Independence House, which at a time was the country's tallest building. When Lagos served as the country's seat of government, the National Assembly Complex was within the TBS. Also in the square are the National Broadcasting Commission Office, the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency Office, shopping centers, travel agencies, restaurants, car parking lots, and a bus terminal. Tafawa Balewa Square is adorned with beautiful statues of white horses and red eagles, symbols of strength and dignity. Our historic neighbors include the King's College and the Holy Cross Cathedral. Tafawa Balewa Square hosted some of the country's memorable events, such as the Independence Day in 1960, when Nigeria gained independence from Britain, the Armed Forces Remembrance Day, which is celebrated annually on January 15. The edifice is a national cultural asset. Tafawa Balewa Square, Souq Enlightenment.
European Union leaders have reached an agreement to provide Ukraine with a new 50 billion euros aid package, overcoming Hungary's week-long threat to veto the move. European Council President Charles Michael announced the deal during a summit in Brussels, emphasizing the EU's commitment to providing long-term predictability funding for Ukraine. While it remains unclear if concessions were made to Hungary, Prime Minister Viktor Orban had previously raised objections to the financial aid package. The aid is crucial for Ukraine's war-ravaged economy, although political infighting within the EU and the United States had delayed the approval. And with that, we come to the end of News Hour. Many thanks for joining us. I'm Adesua Iromoseli.